Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Just like always, we'll get started here in just a couple of minutes. Whoa. Okay, good. Audio is coming through on my phone. My bad. Just get the stream up on my main account so I can rewatch it later to make sure everything is fine on it. But good afternoon, everybody. It is Tuesday, not Wednesday this week. I'm pretty sure that I'll have some things going on tomorrow, October 1st. So I decided to just make sure that we had time to do the stream. So we just did it today. I decided to mute it on my computer as well. We're going to pop out the chat on my computer so I can watch it while we do our stream today. Welcome to the stream. This week's just going to be we're just going to be a casual stream where we're just going to play through a bit of Pokemon Let's Go today, just because that's what I want to play today. We're doing a sort of like birthday stream for me. My birthday is this Thursday, October 2nd. So my birthday is in 2 days. Obviously, I have to work at my day job at Walmart on Thursdays, so we're doing it today. I thought, well, you know, sorry, my brain went dead there for a second. But, you know, I figured we'd just do it today. I was thinking about, like, what I wanted to do, like, going through stuff we haven't streamed before, and I am shocked that we've never streamed Pokemon Let's Go before. Obviously, when I was doing my Let's Play channel, I did a full Nuzlocke of the game. But we're just going to go into, and we're not going to start at the beginning. I want to say, month or two ago, I started a new save file on the game. You know, just purged all the old save data and made a new save file, just to have fun replaying the game on my lunch breaks. Of course, now I am right now I'm doubling down on getting as much done for the channel here as I can, especially with Trails in the Sky First Chapter, because I am over 20 hours into the game and I am less than halfway through the game. So, you know, that review's still going to be a little bit away. So but, you know, I did start that save file, and when I was trying to think of what to do for today's stream, I thought, you know what? We started that Let's Go file. Let's just continue that. That'll be fun. So, you know, we're not going to start at the beginning. We're going to start, I believe I am just past Lavender Town, the first time you go through, before you go to Celadon City and everything. So that's what we're going to do today. As far as what all is going on the channel right now, we do have a few things going on. Yum Yum, welcome to the stream. Surfdy, welcome to the stream. Let's see, Yum Yum saying, what's that dog-like icon game? It is called Canine. It is a very, very small PS1 style horror game. I have it re-downloaded just in case it ever gets a patch to fix its performance. Because its performance is, you know, performance is horrible on Switch 1. It's pretty decent on Switch 2, but it jumps all over the place, at least in docked mode. Handheld mode's fine, but, you know, I just have it installed because I just went into it because the Switch operating system got an update yesterday, and I was going into games to see if it fixed any of the games that we know have problems. That list is getting a lot smaller nowadays, thankfully. But, you know, outside of other things, I am working on getting more Switch versus Switch 2 reviews, or Switch versus Switch 2 performance videos up, because I just re-downloaded a bunch of games to test. I'm probably going to test pretty much all of these games for the Switch versus Switch 2 series, and I've got a big, long list that me and my coach made together to test. This is most of the list, but there's a few others here and there as well. But that's pretty much what's going on right now, because, you know, like, still working on the Trails in the Sky review. Friday. Is it this Friday? Yeah, this Friday's October 3rd. Yeah, this Friday's October 3rd. I've already mentioned it before, but, you know, earlier this week, I put up a re-review of Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy: The Duelist Link Evolution. And I am putting up a re-review of Skyrim Anniversary Edition on Friday. Basically going back redo some of the older popular videos that I've done that are no longer relevant. Like, obviously Legacy of the Duelist is no longer the go-to card sim. Master Duel is. But Legacy of the Duelist still has function since it's the only sim that can use the Takahashi cards, like Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon and the like, and it's a really, really good way to learn the card game. And Master Duel is not. And of course, my original Skyrim Anniversary review was right after it launched when it had performance issues before it was patched later by Bethesda. So that this new video is kind of like rectifying that, saying, hey, it's been fixed. Also, the load times are halved on Switch 2. But I think that's probably those are probably the only two game videos I am going to re-review. And that was mostly at the request of the coach I've been talking to, saying, they were looking at things and thinking like, listen, you've got these gigantic videos that have hundreds of thousands of views that have 9% click-through rates, and they're technically outdated. Fix that. But that's pretty much what's going on the channel right now. I didn't get a review code of the new Atelier game. I can't buy it yet. I'm kind of in financial turmoil for the next 5 days until I get paid again. So, I'm going to eventually, but I reached out to all of them again, hoping that the maybe UK branch of Koei Tecmo will send me a review code of the new Atelier game, because I have not missed an Atelier release for review and everything in years. Because every Atelier game that comes out, if I don't get a review code for it, I buy it. Because I love that series, and I am feel like crap right now because it's right there. Then again, I am working on, time sync the game called The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, but still. Whoops, my chat window disappeared. But anyway, Surf Demon says, oh yeah, I didn't even see that you said any interest in the new Atelier game. Yes, I do want to play it, but I'm just waiting for finance stuff next week, because right now I just paid a ton of money in medical bills for my CPAP breathing machine. And I am renewing my driver's license and stuff today or tomorrow. So I'm I have to be super, super careful with my finances for the next 5 days until I get paid again. But when that happens, I will definitely be grabbing the new Atelier game. Because I am always interested in that series. I mean, I was even excited when that Nelky game came out, and it wasn't great. It was not Atelier's brightest point. I didn't really love the gameplay loop, but I did love that it was a gigantic love letter to the whole series with all the cameos. Oh, let's see. Art said, did I try Wind Waker when I picked up the Switch 2? Yeah, I feel like it felt fine. I played through the first hour or so of it. Did it feel blurry at all? Not really. I thought it was fine. But I'm not really big on, visual presentation, because, all kinds of people come into my Switch versus Switch 2 videos and will ask me, hey, does it look blurry on the Switch 2 screen? And, every game I played on the Switch 2, I thought, this looks good. I've never really picked apart what looks, more blurry than Switch 1. Because, when I play a game on Switch 2, I'm like, hey, this looks good. And the only thing I'm really worried about is, what are the performance differences? But I've always been like that. Because, when really big 4K HD TVs come out, and I walk through a store and I look at, an HD TV versus, a 4K TV with the same image up. I look at both TVs and I'm like, they both look great. But I'm not a super nitpicky person. Yum Yum Tormented Souls runs better on the Switch too. It is better. Yes. Oh, yes, I know. I have played it a little bit on Switch too. I just haven't made a dedicated video to it. And Surf Demon says Bring on Friday and Digimon Story Time Stranger. Oh yeah, I'm real excited about that. I actually went back and played a little bit of Complete Edition. Right there. Just yesterday. Because I was updating the thumbnail for my original Switch review of it, and I've just enjoyed playing it a while because there's the Digimon Story games are so great. And Art says, I'm waiting into around Christmas to get a Switch too. I'm hoping they put out a patch for Xenoblade Chronicles by then. Fingers crossed that will hopefully eventually happen. Hasn't happened yet, but you know. But anyways, that's kind of everything that's going on the channel right now with everything that's going on. So we are going to, I got the chat up, I got the stats for the stream up so we can make sure we don't have any dropped frames or anything. Looking good so far. Yum Yum Game says I believe they will not. They may re-release it for Switch 2. I could see them releasing Switch 2 versions of the trilogy. I guess we'll have to see, because the last Switch 2 versions they've announced have just been Mario games from the last Direct. And, you know, the Mario Galaxy games come out pretty soon. So that comes out, what, October on October 2nd? Is that right? This article I brought up is horrible on its writing. Yeah, October 2nd. Comes out on my birthday. But, you know, whatever. And my bad for just a second ago, because I brushed up against my mic. But anyways, we'll go ahead and get started with what we're doing today. So, like I said earlier, we're just going to have a casual stream. We're not going to do anything crazy. I just started a save file like a month or two ago in Pokemon Let's Go for fun. And we're just going to enjoy it for a few hours. Because I don't have anything like really big and crazy for us to do. And, you know, this week is my birthday week. So I'm just like, you know what? We'll just continue this save file and have fun. The audio balancing should already be good. I did a few tests beforehand. This is probably the first stream I have been well prepared for. The first one in a long time, because normally I wake up, you know, with less than an hour. But, you know, I woke up plenty of time today. Get everything ready. Have breakfast, go do some work outside and everything. But let's go ahead and get started. Game might be a little bit quiet, but I have been a little saddened by some of the previous live streams we've done that the audio balancing hasn't been super great. But anyways, here's the save file we have. Oh, yeah. 8 hours. That makes sense, because I was spending my lunch breaks doing it. So, you know, each day for a while, I was spending like 40 minutes on it, give or take. But let's go ahead and get started, and we'll just enjoy doing this for a while. It's going to be a little weird, because I'm not used to using the... I connected the left-sided controller. I'm not used to doing that. What do we need to do? We don't need to heal anybody, right? Good. Yep, so here's the crew that I'm working with right now. I have been kind of doing it like a normal Pokemon playthrough that I never do, where it's like stop in an area, catching things we don't have. Because I would normally never have a box this freaking big. Oh, we should probably get rid of stuff too. So we'll send stuff to the professors. I really, really wish they had added a way to play with both controllers on Let's Go. Because I get what they were going for with it, but it's just so much better when played in handheld mode. where you can use, you know, you can use both controllers and you can use the gyro to aim when you're throwing Pokeballs. Like, I know a lot of people don't like this game. A lot of people hated it when it first came out. But I've always really enjoyed it. Yum Yum says, I want the Xenoblade trilogy, not including X, to be complete on the cart for the Switch. They would have to release multiple carts for that, I think. I don't remember exactly how big they were, because I never played 3, but I did play 1 and 2. Because, like, how big are they a piece? Xenoblade 2 is 13 gigabytes. Okay, that's a lot smaller than I thought it was. Okay, so maybe that's doable. But we'll see what they do. Oh, right, yeah. I had just gotten done with the first little trek through the Pokemon Tower in this run. Serpentine, wasn't the largest Switch 2 cart like 64 gigabytes? I think so, yes. But, you know, we'll just see what they do. I mean, it is a Nintendo IP, so they might put a little bit more production into it, since it's one of their own franchises. Okay. Well, we're just gonna, I guess, go forward with where we are. So here's our crew so far. We've done I did a little bit of grinding a couple places because I arrived in Cerulean City woefully unprepared. But anyways, let's just advance to Celadon City and we'll just have fun playing this casually for a few hours. Did you see they abducted that poor Cubone? They must be planning on taking the skull it wears. I don't think we ever see a Cubone without the skull on. Then the Pokemon anime put a lot of the elements of a body on its lifespan, like that horrifically depressing Charmander episode, where the Charmander was out in the rain and said, oh yeah, if the flame is extinguished, it will literally die. And then confused everybody later by having a Charizard swimming underwater. Okay, well, let's just have fun, because, you know, this is what I did on my lunch breaks for a while. Where it was just like, oh, hey, I'm gonna just casually play through Pokemon Let's Go, and during my lunch breaks, that's the time when I would do that. That way, like, you know, I'm not spending any time on it when I'm at home, letting that time be dedicated to working on reviews for the channel. And I knew that at some point, you know, these long RPGs were going to come out. You know, Trails in the Sky followed right by a new Atelier game. Let's see, Yum Yum says Xenoblade Chronicles 1 is 13, 2 is 13, 3 is 14, and Torna is 3.3. Okay, that's a total of 44. I mean, if they wanted to, they might be able to put it all on one cart. I don't know if they would. Because collections on the Switch have always been very different. Because I can't... Most times they bundle games together. They install separately on the Switch. Like Resident Evil Origins Collection. You know, Zero HD and Remake. They install separately, but you can... Right, but then again, they have you download stuff off of the... you had to download, I think, HD remaster and only 0 was on the cart. The only thing I can think of that was all bundled together were the, let's see, the Mega Man and Castlevania collections were like that. But I want to say a lot of collections have all the games installed separately. You mean if they do a Xenoblade Chronicles Trilogy, it may be the first game that will break the $100 mark. Maybe, but then again, it wouldn't really be one game. Because it would be 3. And they probably do a bundle. Because they're just doing the Mario Galaxy stuff, where they're releasing Galaxy 1 and 2 for $40 each, or $70 as a bundle to let you save like $10 on it. But even those still install separately, and I don't think there is a physical collection for those. I can't think of very many times where Nintendo has released a physical collection of games. On the Wii, they did when they released the 25th anniversary thing, that version of Super Mario All-Stars. Because I'm thinking, and I can't really remember them ever releasing like a huge collection. Mario 3D All-Stars is probably the most recent one they did. And I think that was all on the cartridge. Because it did not install separately. And it included Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy 1. Digital Xenoblade Chronicles games may be priced at $40 each, says Yum Yum. Buying it physical may be priced around $109. I don't think they would price it that weird. If they did that at all. Now, would they do a digital bundle? 100%. Of course they would. But I don't know. I would say because I know the most expensive Nintendo game, I think, is the Japanese Bayonetta Switch collection. It was before Bayonetta 3 came out. But I think that was just, because it was like a limited physical thing. That was not your wing, by the way, Charizard. You swiped your tail at it. But okay. Alright, we'll swap Butterfree out. And since we're going to go to Celadon and stuff today, we might be able to... Because I have been wanting to replay this game to see if the frame drops in this game were fixed on Switch 2. Because there were 2 areas with frame drops. The Viridian Forest would sometimes have little drops when you were running around the forest itself. And Cycling Road, sometimes if you were riding on top of a Pokemon, like Charizard, like so, like you would be going around here, and suddenly the animations would suddenly drop in frame rate. So I was also wanting to get back to that part of the game to test that. Yum Yum, they were the ones who first priced the game at $80. On Switch, sure. I don't know if they were the first gaming company to release an $80 game. Well, if you count way back in the day, then they weren't. Because I know that Sega Genesis games way back in the day, some of them were obscenely expensive. And Nintendo has released, what? One $80 game? Because I'm pretty sure their standard for Switch 2 releases is slowly just becoming $70. Beneman, welcome to the stream. And thank you. It's a little early. You know my birthday's on Thursday, but I appreciate it. But we'll see what they do with Xenoblade. I'm sure they'll do something. I think there's already been rumors that Monolith Soft is working on a new game. Oh, Jolteon, that's fun. I haven't really thought about, you know, in this playthrough, I haven't really thought about if I want to put an evolution into the party. Surf Demon says, I am pretty sure that GoldenEye on the N64 was like 80 when it released. It probably was, yeah, because the Sega Genesis thing I remember is in the old Sega Genesis collection, not the one that released on Switch, the one that released back on the PS3 and PSP. It had a big information section to it, and I believe it was one of the Fantasy Star games. I think it might have been Fantasy Star 4. And that collection put a little bit of trivia that basically said, oh hey, this game when it first launched was this obscene amount of money. This collection only costs $40. You're welcome. Something like that. Just kind of like a little nod to the fact that games used to be really expensive, and they're slowly getting back to that point. Because obviously, you know, you can see it a lot with the handhelds, because, like, I don't remember what the default price for GBA games were. I think it might have been $40, because I know 40 was the standard price for PSP and Vita games and 3DS games. Then when Switch came around, it turned into 60, and now with the Switch 2, it's turning into 70. At least for first-party games. A lot of third-party games are coming out at decentish prices. I just saw that the Ukulele remake is now on the coming soon section of the eShop for Switch 2, and it's releasing for $30, though it might be releasing for $30 everywhere. Alright, Yamu says they do like money. Yeah, as all companies do. That's why anybody who pirates their games will get served, and for sure that they won't lean to the PC side. We'll see. I mean, we know Sony's doing that to broaden their audience. Because I mean, at least Nintendo is fortunate that Xbox and PlayStation are both kind of helping them out by bringing some of their games to their platforms, because we've got, you know, obviously Xbox released a bunch of games for the Switch, like the Ori games and Cuphead and Minecraft, and technically Minecraft because they acquired that game. And Sony's been releasing PlayStation games on Switch as well. Not a huge amount, but like people were surprised that Freedom Wars Remastered was getting a Switch version. We got the Lego Horizon game and Everybody's Golf. Technically, Hot Shots Golf was a PlayStation brand, but now it's on everything. I don't remember if it came to Xbox or not. I know it came to PC. even though I just played on Switch, and was very happy when that random patch came out while I was playing it that unlocked the frame rate so Switch 2 could play it at 60 FPS. And you know, as things go by, we're probably going to get more Xbox and PlayStation games on Nintendo platforms. Don't want to really get rid of Fake Out. And you know what? It's fine. Says the person who has never once in his life raised a Kangaskhan in a Pokemon game before. So you're still 36. You're not ahead of everybody else yet. Yem says Nintendo wants to sell more hardware, and they already broadened their horizons to making the all of the Nintendo stores and the theme parks and everything. And Nintendo is gonna keep selling hardware. I'm like, the Switch sold like the Switch 2 sold like crazy. And you know, as crappy as all of the content creators on YouTube and are like talking about like, oh, the Switch 2 is a failure, the Switch 2 is horrible, cancel your Switch Online subscription. You know, at the end of the day, that still also draws more eyes to Nintendo and their hardware. And you know, a lot of people see all that discourse online and think, oh, the Switch 2 is an extremely controversial console and nobody wants it. I'm like, that's just what you see online. Most people just see it and say, oh, they made a new Switch, let's see what's on it. It's like, oh, Street Fighter 6 is on it, Cyberpunk's on it, that's awesome. Because a lot of people don't care about the drama. Because like, I don't care about the drama. If I have fun in a game, that's great. That's why I will look at a game like Thief Simulator Mastermind Edition that has a bunch of glitches and bugs in it, and I'm just like, this was a fun game. Surf Demon said GBA games were $29.99 and $34.99 in the UK. Okay. So they might have been around $30 here versus $40 for when you get to like the PSP and PS Vita and 3DS. Let's see, there's a price charting website. You might be able to see. Oh my gosh. Loose price for Pokemon Emerald, $204. That's crazy. Oh yeah. Immediately found a thing on Reddit, on the Game Boy subreddit, that talked about GBA games being $30 in the United States when they were new. So, you know, Pokemon Emerald, you know, $30 today. Hundreds of dollars. Yeah, Benemin says, I remember getting some flack in the Switch subreddit for saying that I don't own any Nintendo games on my Switch. That makes sense. A lot of people really, really push the idea that people only buy a Nintendo platform for Nintendo games. You see all these people online that says, yeah, I only bought a Switch for Nintendo games. Which, I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of people that do that. But a lot of people in, the handheld community and everything, they do it. Because I didn't buy a Switch for Nintendo games. I bought a Switch for everything, for playing games on the go. Just like all of my previous handhelds. But there's a certain amount of, assumptions there. Because I still remember, because I just love playing on handhelds in general. And I still remember when I rebranded the channel here from only covering the PS Vita to covering all handhelds. Because, you know, I looked at things and I thought, you know, the Vita is going to be on its way out soon. I don't want to suddenly just not have anything to do on the channel. So why don't we just change it to all handhelds? Because there's handheld PCs coming out. I'll dip and dab into 3DS a little bit here and there. And my website lost 75% of its daily traffic overnight because I did that. Because the PS Vita fans were so angry that I wanted to cover all handhelds and not just the Vita. Because, you know, they viewed it as like, oh, you're betraying us. Obviously, things built back up from there. But, yeah, that pretty much destroyed any hopes of me continuing the website side of things with text reviews. I just moved on to YouTube after that. Scald. Beneman says, I now own 150 games on my Switch. That's a lot. Surf Demon says that I saw a video where someone bought Pokemon Emerald Complete in its box for $500. That is insane. I guess with collecting and everything, because I still have my cartridge of Emerald. It's not in very good shape. Like, the cartridge itself is fine. Everything works and everything. If I plug it into my DS or my GBA, nothing's going to be wrong with the way it plays. But I used it so much and popped it in and out of the slot so much that the sticker on the front with the artwork and everything is completely gone. It is just a semi-transparent green cartridge now. Because, I mean, I do have a lot of really good memories with Emerald. I want to say I borderline played that game more than I did Fire Red. And that was also my introduction to the GBA side of the Game Shark. Because I bought a Game Shark there, and solely because I found out that all of the special event Pokemon from Pokemon Emerald you could get with a Game Shark. Because there was this handy cheat that you could use with the Game Shark that allowed you to walk through any door in the game, and you would teleport to wherever you put in. So you could just walk through a door and go to, you know, Naval Island and Birth Island, and I don't remember what the other island was called. Because I know one of the islands had Mew, one had Deoxys with like the little stone triangle you interact at the beginning, and the Deoxys would change its form depending on what game you put it on. Between Emerald, between Gen 3 and Fire Red and Leaf Green. And one of the islands had Ho-Oh and Lugia on it. Alright, let's try Mega Punch. That's a little better. Yeah, and Surf Demon saying that they bought the Switch for Fire Emblem Warriors and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It ended up hating the latter, which is, you know, that's very unfortunate. But at least you got it for Fire Emblem Warriors. And Yum Yum said, I bought the Switch first back in summer 2017 and bought my PS4 during the Thanksgiving of that year. Okay, so not too much long later. Yeah, because I mean, I still... Let's see, Facade... No, we don't need Facade. But, you know, like, I buy more than just what I make content on, and buy more than just handhelds, because I do buy mostly handhelds. Because, you know, if I looked in my room, I'd find probably like at least a dozen handhelds between actual handheld consoles and handheld PCs. But I also, you know, I also bought a PS5 to play games on that. Even though, hilariously enough, I would say the vast majority, actually, all of the games that I bought I bought the PS5 versions for. I have also bought on other platforms. On PC specifically. Because I'd say, like, the big games that I played on PS5 first, like the PS5 versions, were the Resident Evil 4 Remake and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And now I have both of them on PC. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go here. Yum Yum says the Vita was my main gaming console before the Switch came out. Yeah, I played almost exclusively on the Vita, and then PS4 normally when something came to PS4 that I wanted to play that wasn't on handhelds. Because for a while, I mostly just played on Vita. I did get a 3DS later on. Let's see, where's this? Alright, where's the Psychic House at? I'll find it eventually. Not you. Wait, we don't need the Psychic House. What are we doing? We unlock this. We need to go back to Celadon City. Because my goal here, as soon as I unlocked Saffron City, was to get an Alolan Raichu. So let's go ahead and grab a Thunderstone here. Surf Demon says a new game came out for Stellar Blade that expands the endings a little bit. Oh, that's cool. They actually added more story content. That's fun. Oh, thank you. Helping Hand will boost an ally. That's great. I have never used Helping Hand in any game. Yeah, man, says 2 reasons I got the Switch: Breath of the Wild and Splatoon 2. That's cool. I mean, I think a lot of people got the Switch because of Breath of the Wild, because of the craziness that happened after that. Alright, I'm gonna buy Waterstone as well. It is so weird just, you know, just using one controller for this game. I mean, that's how it always been, but still. There we go, we got a Raichu. Even though I have never been a fan of Raichu's design. I've never really liked it. Now, it looks fine. The ears look weird to me. Benjamin says I first got my Switch for Hades. Oh, okay. That's cool. What do we want to get rid of? Nothing. I don't want to get rid of it. I don't want to get rid of any of this. We don't need it. Don't need it! Alright, now let's leave. Let's go back to Saffron City. We should be able to get an Alolan Raichu. I think that's I think that person is unlocked from the get-go. Surf Team says, I only got Breath of the Wild like 2 or 3 years ago. Had my Switch since 2018. I mean, some people are like that. I know a lot of people didn't start playing it until the Switch 2 versions came out. Because some people didn't get it until the Switch 2 came out. So they could play it, you know, at 60 FPS instead of 30. Which, I mean, is really nice. Like, I played a little bit of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom on my Switch too, and I do admit, like, the higher frame rate is a nice feeling. But I wouldn't, you know, hold out on a game just because it's at 30 FPS. All right, this should be the lady. Hey, lady. I'm a huge Raichu fan. Let's trade your Cantonian Raichu and my Raichu. Okay. Take him. Give me the only Raichu design I've ever really liked. Though those new Mega versions of Raichu that are going to come in that DLC for ZA do look pretty decent. Surfing says, I didn't care for it, but then saw someone streaming it, so I thought I would give it a fair try. Okay. You know what? That makes perfect sense. There have been multiple games that I played because of the YouTuber Gray Still Plays. Like, he is the reason that I decided to play. What is this garbage moveset? I gave you a Raichu that had Thunderbolt, Thunder, Dig, and you gave me a Raichu with Thunder Shock. That is garbage. Okay, anyways. But, you know, like, I played Thief Simulator and House Flipper just because of Gray Still Plays. Because I loved his series of those games. It was such an entertaining series, and a lot of times I'll still listen to those playlists, like at night when I'm trying to fall asleep. And that's why I jumped on Thief Simulator Mastermind Edition when it came out on Switch a couple weeks ago. Like, as soon as I saw it on the eShop, I had emails going straight to Forever Entertainment about it. They didn't respond to it, but as soon as it launched, I grabbed it, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't care that I have to go through this entire game again, because it's fun. It's clunky, it's glitchy, but it's still fun. Alright, let's fix this poor sap's moveset. I'll give you Thunderbolt. What else? Brick would probably be a good idea as well. Now let's go and see if the psychic person's here. Wait. I'm trying to remember. I think the psychic person gives you something different in Let's Go. Nope, I was mistaken. Maybe I'm thinking of Infinite Fusion. I know one version of Gen 1 I've played, he gives you something else. There we go. We're gonna give Psychic to you. We don't need double team. Who cares? Now you have a good moveset. Surf Demon, fix that abomination of a moveset. Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, it was like level 30. I'm like, why is its only damaging move Thunder Shock? I want to give it to Butterfree too. I don't know. Butterfree's moveset's pretty good already. And you get 20 Psybeams. I think we'll leave Butterfree the way they are. Okay, anyways. Let's go. And you know what? I love that they added this to Let's Go, where you had certain Pokemon where when you take them out of the Pokeball, you're literally just riding on them. It is fantastic. It's so much fun. And you don't have to continually prompt the change like you do, you know, like you do in Gen 1, where you have, like with the bicycle, where you have to constantly hit the button to go on and off the bicycle, where it's literally just, oh no, you're riding on Charizard at all times, except if you go into an area where you can't, it just takes you off of him, and you seamlessly get right back on as soon as you're in an open area again. Because as much as people dog on this game, it's like, there are some things here that are just fantastic. Because, like, I think Pokemon Let's Go was probably the last time Pokemon had a good sense of scale with Pokemon. Because they kind of, like, just crammed down the models in more recent games, especially when you're in the middle of a fight. Because when you fight Brock in this game, you know, like, the camera angle changes to where when Onix comes out, and so Onix literally looks like he's several times taller than Brock. But in more recent games, it's like, oh hey look, it's Onix, he's like 5 feet tall now, in the middle of a battle. Play rough. Right, there's no Eevee here because Eevee is a normal encounter in this game. And we technically have one on our heads, but I don't really care about that one. Binman says, is that Eevee at the top of the apartment still there? Nope, I didn't remember, so I was checking. But Eevee is a normal encounter on Cycling Road. So we can catch as many Eevees as we want. That has always been something real exciting for me. Just being able to catch Eevees, so you're not stuck with just one. Alright, I think we'll be fine going straight to the gym. We don't need to do the rocket stuff. Actually wait, no, we don't have... You know, it's fine. I was trying to think because we don't really have a good fire move on Charizard. He still has Ember! But you know what, it's fine. And we have versatility because we have Psybeam and Psychic on 2. And almost every grass type in Gen 1 is also part poison. Certainty says, did you see that Larian had put out a native Steam Deck version with its newest update from last week? It's meant to improve load times, and yes, I didn't see like any videos and stuff of it, but I did see people talking about it. Because I do occasionally look at things like the Steam Deck subreddit and everything. It pops up in my feed from time to time. Yeah, I knew you were talking about Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, because I remember seeing a topic, I think that said like asking about the performance of Baldur's Gate 3 after the patch. Because Baldur's Gate 3 is a notoriously, you know, difficult game to run. Yum Yum says got a question. What's the largest SD card you've installed on your Switch? I have a 512 on my Switch 2, and I think the largest one I had on my original Switch, actually I probably still have it in the original Switch, is also a 512. So that would be 512 on both accounts. I have a SanDisk 512 gigabyte micro SD in my original Switch, and a 512 of the on brand of the Express in Switch 2. But do I have a cute Pokemon? Look at Alolan Raichu, he's adorable. It's cute, super cute, that's right. Alright, let's go. I do like that certain areas of Pokemon Let's Go just turns... It just lowers the camera angle, so it's like a behind the character 3D game. You know, kind of like Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet turned into. But I think they would. I think Pokemon would have done well if they had just kept the graphical style of this game, because this game ran well on the Switch. It just had a couple small areas like the flying on Cycling Road, which was very, very rare to have drops there. And then the small little drops in Viridian Forest. If they hadn't tried to keep pushing the graphics forward, if they just kept this graphics engine, I think they probably would have been fine making more games on the Switch. Without, you know, intensely crippling performance issues. Yeah, because Sword and Shield, I think, was fine on performance. The wild area had a lot of drops when you were in online mode, but if you played it offline, it was mostly fine. And then Scarlet and Violet is just when performance just tanked because they tried to do too much. Surf Demon says, and this game looks great on the OLED model. It does. It looks really good. This is a really colorful game. And I mean, Pokemon has always just been a colorful franchise. It was never the, you know, top tier JRPG graphics games. That's really Square Enix's job. Not Pokemon. Pokemon has just been colorful monster catching game that people really like. Surf Demon is saying that they have a 512, couldn't afford anything larger than just forgot to upgrade. Yeah, because I mean, for Switch 1 games, you really don't need anything bigger than a 512, because like right now, like on my Switch 2, most of my installs are Switch 1 games. The only Switch 2 games I have are installed right now, at least, are a couple of the Arcade Archives games, which are also small. Trails in the Sky, Fortnite, maybe one or two other games. Not that many. But I probably have like 50 games installed on my Switch 2 right now. And I probably still have 50 to 100 gigabytes remaining. Because, I mean, I know that's going to go down next year as soon as Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out, because that's a gigantic game. And so is Rebirth. I still remember the day that the first patch came to the Steam version of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and the patch was almost 200 gigabytes. Not the game, just the update. And I was floored by that, just like, why? Why is the update so big? Surf Demon saying, oh, Pokemon's that people like a little too much. That's true. And it says Surf Demon F7 Rebirth have both love and hate you at the same time. Yeah, no, I can understand that. Because I know a lot of people hate what they keep doing with the story, because I really, really loved playing Rebirth on PS5. I had so much fun playing that game. And spending hours upon hours trying to understand and figure out what they did with its ending. It was like one of those, okay, I don't understand everything that's going on. I understand some of it. I'm going to think about it for an hour now. 1 hour later, I still don't understand. Because they let Tetsuya Nomura do whatever he wanted, and he got really weird with it, as he often does. Yeah, anyone says, I wanted a 1 terabyte express card for Switch 2. I have too many digital games, even though I have more physical games in my library. Well, the big thing there, I think, is just, like, a lot of people eventually have to realize that they might just not be able to install every game they own at one time. I don't. I own over 700 Switch digital games. There is no way I will ever be able to install everything I own at once. But I mean, those 1 terabyte cards are expensive because they're still, those express cards are still a somewhat new tech. 17 says, accept the story for the remake, games that have been working on for like 30 years. Yeah, that's very true. Because they have been working on the Final Fantasy VII remake for ever. Because they did the, that tech demo they made for a Final Fantasy VII remake. They made that back on the PS3. And story-wise, if it really is like the fan theory states, that where like the remake trilogy is technically supposed to be a sequel to Advent Children, I mean, Nomura might have been working on this story since then. Or before then. Who knows? But you know, I remember when they announced the release date, because I think remake is coming to Switch 2 in February. I'm like, really? February? Come on, man. Because I mean, I've already played it through before on Steam Deck and Legion Go. Well, mostly Legion Go. But I am looking forward to that. Yeah, Miam says I don't understand why they did not opt to put an M2 card on Switch 2. Why the Express card? I thought they wanted the system to be child friendly. I mean, the thing with SD cards is like any of them could be swallowed easily. But SD cards are also built to be like you put them into the system and then just don't take them out. So, you know, with a child, like once a parent puts the SD card into the system, there should be a situation where it never gets taken out, especially if they get one of the big ones. Because like I have 700 plus games on Switch, but I am not a child. You know, I'm an adult that loves this hobby, but also I'm constantly reviewing games for the channel. For like a parent with a child that buys a game every once in a while, well, first of all, they're probably going to be getting more physical games than digital games. But it would take them a very long time to fill up even some of the smaller SD cards. So for a lot of families, you know, once the SD card goes in, there's no real reason to get it out. And, you know, you would have to actually push on it with your fingernail to actually get it out if you wanted to. Like if the child were to try to get it out. Alright, I guess we're ready to go. Got through the gym. 38. Guess we could put Butterfree up first to help them catch up a little bit. Oh, look at Erica under her tree. Like how did you get this tree to grow inside this house? You know, me talking as if there are not houses that have trees growing inside them. There are. Also, Yum Yum says the same as the M2, and they're cheaper and faster. I don't know. You probably have to ask Nintendo. Erica, stop falling asleep! Serbian says, happy to report that Silent Hill F runs great on the Steam Deck. Eats the battery, though. Oh, I am sure it does. But running great is fantastic. Yet another game that I want to be able to throw some money out and purchase. It's been a long time since I've played a good Silent Hill game, and Silent Hill 2 still runs very poorly on the Steam Deck. Or at least it did the last time I checked, which was when the lossless scaling stuff came out that I tried. Because I remember a little bit after it came out, Surf Demon told me about it, and then I tested it a while later. So, you know, yeah, still does not play super well. So, Silent Hill F, playing well is great. Oh, hi, Battlefield. Probably a little tanky. You probably survive an air slash, right? Yeah. But you got flinched. Super easy. Super easy. And Yemen says, talking about Silent Hill, if we may see that game on the Switch too, maybe someday. That would be cool. But we're also at a weird state where, like, some people are, like, you know, keeping certain ports. Because, I mean, we know that there's a port. We know that there are rumors that there are ratings for a Switch 2 version of Digimon Story Time Travel. Sorry, I meant to say Time Stranger. I said Time Traveler. But we know that there's been a rating for a Switch 2 version of that game. Haven't heard a single thing about it. Because it's about to come to the other platforms, you know, in 2 days. Or 3 days. Sorry. Forgot today wasn't Wednesday. Surf Demon says, not using lossless scaling or FSR gets a nice 30 FPS with most things at low and textures on medium. Really, that is quite impressive. Like, without using all that extra boosting stuff. That is fantastic. Let's see. Surf Demon says, have the LCD Steam Deck got it way before the OLED released. Yep, because it's the same one that I have. Because Valve sent me the LCD after many emails from them when they told me they were looking into it. They told me they added me to a list and then didn't say anything for a long time. But never sent me an OLED model. But you know what? Honestly, I'm not really that bummed about it. Because the OLED model does allow for 90 Hz, but, you know, it's not a gigantic performance improvement. I'm not like the people at Digital Foundry that think the LCD model is, like, so ugly and gross that they couldn't play on it. I look at it and I'm like, you know, I look at it and I'm like, oh, hey, look, I have Fallout New Vegas on a handheld. Awesome. All right, let's see up before we move on. Excuse me. Here, take this. Yum Yum says, got the base Steam Deck and upgraded it to 2 terabytes on my own. That's cool. Charizard is interested in Eevee's Chop Down. I don't think you can learn that, Charizard. I don't think you can learn Cut. Who's the lowest? Raichu. Raichu will probably be pretty good against pretty much everything in the Rocket base. For a while, at least. Hello, guys. Are you having fun playing slots? I would love to play slots, but you can't in this game. Surf Demon says, it does drop a bit in some places, but most of the time it's at 30. It does hit around 40 to 50 if you set the limit to 60. That's fantastic. Excuse me, sir. Oh, look at that guy. I love Alolan Raichu so much. It is so weird to just say, like, yeah, no, Raichu sucks, but Alolan Raichu. Oh, Alolan Raichu's great. How dare you? I'll use Thunder Shock on you. That garbage move you started with. How about that? Alright, let's heal up before we go in, because Raichu took a lot of damage there. Forgot that Crunch was a possibility. Perfect. Binman says you can't play the slots, so how do you get the slot prizes here? You don't! I don't think they're in here. Let me look. Yep, there's nothing here. It's all one building now. Because the slot prizes can all be obtained elsewhere, because, you know, Eevee is... Actually, if we wait long enough... Because I am pretty sure... Where's the stupid... Oh, right, we have the department store. But pretty much everything you could get out of the casino is a random encounter. Because if memory serves, the area right outside Celadon City has a very small chance of spawning Porygon in the wild. Oh, you have technical machines. Do you want one of these technical machines? Yes, yes I do. I want Shadow Ball. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. Don't really care about the rest. Because if I can get a... Do you have lures? Yes. Get 21. So I'm like probably like 90% certain that the area outside of Celadon City can spawn Porygon in the wild. So let's go over there. And let's go to, where is it? Catching Pocket, I think, is where the lure... Nope, that's where the berries are. It's probably just here. Not here either. Power Up Pocket? Don't know why it would be. Battle Pocket? Oh, there it is. Hold on. We'll try to hide down here so the... flyers can't get to us. And we'll just wait for a while Because I'm pretty sure that patch of grass up there at the top is where, you know, all of that can spawn. And it's like, since I have both the deck and the Switch, what game is available on both systems but better on only the deck and only the Switch? I would say probably Digimon Story Complete Edition is probably better on deck because it probably has a more consistent 60 FPS than it does on Switch. Final Fantasy VII, the original, is better on Switch, in my opinion. Some people have complained in my Final Fantasy VII Steam Deck video because, you know, mods are available on the PC version, but the in-game cheats are a gigantic hassle when it comes to the when it comes to using the built-in cheats on the Steam version of Final Fantasy VII, you have to go to a website to link your account, to link your save file to do cheats. But on console, you just hit a button. It's so much easier. I know that's not a new game. Like, Tormented Souls is better on the Steam Deck because of the frame rate increases. Though it is really good on Switch 2 now. I would check my Steam Deck right now, but it has a dead battery. And I can't exactly Surf Demon says Cyber Sleuth is bad on Steam Deck, but if you try to run it normally, it only runs at 40 FPS. That's weird. I would not have expected that at all. Okay, so Cyber Sleuth actually runs better on Switch than it does on Steam Deck. That is very strange. Let's see, obviously, you know, some of the Neptunia games will run a little bit better, being at higher frame rates. Yeah, we can just look. Boom, I'll just activate the stupid co-op feature. So we can actually leave, because like what games here are on Steam Deck? Telia Yumiya is better on the Steam Deck because of the higher frame rate. Let's see. As far as like games I have played, Xenoverse 2 is better because the whole game can run at 60 FPS, and the Steam version was updated to play well with easy anti-cheat, so now you can do all the online stuff. Final Fantasy IX is a lot better on Steam Deck because the load times are easily halved, if not more. Let's see. Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 are 60 FPS on the Steam version and not 30 FPS like the Switch. I would argue that Resident Evil 0 and 1 are better on Switch, specifically Switch 2. Because obviously Switch 2 fixes the load time problems of 0 and the frame drop areas of 1. The Steam version can go up to 60 FPS. But there are a bunch of Linux weird problems with those games because FMVs require very specific Proton layer changes to not be distorted images. So I would probably argue it. On frame rate, no. On glitches and bugs, yes. It's like, what else do we have here? Tormented Souls is much better on Switch 2 now than it ever was on Steam Deck. It did not play very well on Steam Deck. Thief Simulator is better on Switch, well, specifically Switch 2, because Thief Simulator on Steam Deck actually runs pretty bad. Because Thief Simulator on Steam Deck, I could barely get to run 30 to 40 FPS on low settings. Like getting everything down to low, it barely goes 30 to 40 FPS. So like the more stable 30 FPS on Switch 2 is a little bit better than that. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Surf Demon said Fantasy Life I runs great on Steam Deck. Anyways, we'll go back here and continue waiting for... go ahead and get rid of the co-op person. Like, I'll just look through my Steam library. Because a lot of games are better because a lot of games have, you know, 30 FPS caps on Switch and don't on Steam Deck, so they're able to go a little higher. Like Ace Combat 7 is a good 60 FPS game on Steam Deck. Let's see what else is on both platforms. Cyberpunk, I think, is half and half. I have not played Cyberpunk on Switch 2. But, you know, I have heard it's more stable. Obviously, we talked about Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. The Doom games are pretty much, like, Doom 3 is pretty well the same between both systems. Dragon Ball FighterZ is better on Switch solely because of how much hassle is required to get it to run on the Steam Deck because of that stupid easy anti-cheat stuff. Because I think a lot of the games that are like better on Switch or Switch 2 are based off of specific parts of that port or feature sets. Because obviously, like, you know, you can unlock the frame rate on games on Steam to go above 30 FPS caps like there are on Switch. I'd say OG Resident Evil 4 is borderline better on Switch simply because it is a more updated version than the original PC version. Now, I don't remember how long it used to take me to spawn a Porygon here. I know they can spawn here because I remember sitting here for a long time before waiting for one to spawn. But yeah, like as far as like games that are better on Switch than Steam Deck, I would say that would basically boil down to battery life, at least as far as the Switch OLED goes, and feature sets. Because obviously, like if you look at the Neptunia Rebirth trilogy, they probably can hit 60 FPS a lot better or more consistently than the Switch and Switch 2. But they also do not have the DLC built in, which the East Asia Soft Switch releases do. And I'm still sad that we still have 30 days left before Rebirth 3 comes out. I've been watching East Asia Soft's website to see if they change anything about the release date. Alright, I'm gonna look up and make sure that I am looking at the right place for where this thing is supposed to spawn. We're on Route 7, right? Yes, we are. Okay, so I know that they spawn here. So let's just do a super lure and we'll wait a little bit longer. Ah, the previous one's still in effect, okay. So we know what we want is going to spawn here. It is on Route 7 or as a Saffron City gift. It is a rare spawn, so it'll take a little bit before it'll show itself. Let's see. Surf Demon says Warriors Abyss is mostly 60 FPS, but it does drop when it gets crazy. Okay, so that is better than on Switch and Switch 2, because Warriors Abyss on Switch is still capped at 30 FPS. At least I'm pretty sure it is. I have not seen a new patch for it lately. I do watch probably once or twice a week and just go through and see if it gets updated. Just because it's updates like add those fun characters, like when they added the Atelier characters and when they did the ninja... There it is right there! I knew it spawned here. Alright, we're just going to make this as easy as possible by activating co-op mode. Have co-op mode use an Ultra Ball, and have regular mode use an Ultra Ball. We'll try it again. The only thing I don't like about this game is the jumping around dodging stuff that Wild Encounters do. But it doesn't matter because, boom, we have a Porygon. And I love the co-op feature of this game because it's not a great co-op feature, but it is really great at a single player person using it to vastly improve not only the experience you get for catches, but also the likelihood of a catch succeeding. Certainly put out a survey the other day asking what characters in series players would like to see in Abyss. More. Just more in general. Because I know when it first came out, I was like, I really just want Kai Wenji in this game. But you know, I have a... Alright, we're going to turn the co-op off and set the other controller to the side. Alright, let's take a look at this Porygon. But I have a lot of fun with the guest characters, like Ryu from... Ryu and Memoji are a lot of fun to use from Ninja Gaiden, and I love the Atelier protagonists. They are so much fun. Kangaskhan, I might replace you. I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to pop you out for a moment and see what this Porygon has. Even though Gen 1 is limited to Porygon 1, I have always liked it. Okay, we got Tri-Attack, that's pretty much it. What do we have that it can use? I know it can use Shadow Ball. So we'll give you Shadow Ball. It'll learn Zap Cannon later. Surf Demon, I picked the only correct answer, Kasumi from Dead or Alive. Okay, that would be a lot of fun. Let's see, you can learn Psychic. Thunderbolt. I guess you can give you Thunderbolt until Zap Cannon happens. But no, I really just wanted to get more content because it's so much fun. When I made my Switch versus Switch 2 video of that game, I went through tons of runs, getting clips and everything, but I just kept going because it's so much fun to just pick up, do a run, and then just, you know, be happy with what it did. No, anything of that. Actually, I'll sell some stuff so we can get some party setup stuff going. We got 3 nuggets here. We got a pearl. Served name. Thinking about it, I should have said Fatal Frame as well. Oh, that would be very interesting. They could use the camera as like a stun, as like stuns and like summon ghosts and stuff. Oh, that would be awesome. Mirror balls, don't need them. And Pokeballs, do not need them. Don't think we need this. Well, let's see. Physical for 16. Eh. Don't worry about it. What do your stats look like? 45, 45, all right. Bit under everything else we have, but then again, you are like, what, 10 levels lower? We did not end up getting Dragon Tail. Let's take a look here. Surf Demon says, "I can't believe Warriors All Stars is hated so much. I really enjoy it." Oh, I do too. I enjoyed what I played on Steam, and I was so upset when it didn't come to come on the West on Vita. I was so upset about that. Do you want Shadow Ball too? I think I want to give Butterfree Shadowfall. Because I still remember the first time I played this game, I gave, I don't know, Quiver Dance is really good. Oh well. Oh well. What's done is done. Mega Drain, we'll give that to you. We don't need that. It says, yum yum, it's not really hated, but it's getting annoying that they release the same franchise with the same gameplay. Well, it's a genre. And if you want strategy or turn-based, Dynasty Warriors God Seekers was a strategy RPG that they made in that series. They have dipped in other genres before, but fans really like the Musou genre. I love playing Musou games, and Warriors Abyss was also a very different genre take. I'm not really feeling Porygon right now. Maybe when we have more TMs available. But for now, we'll just throw you back in. I think that'll be fine. Yeah, I was just sad that Warriors All Stars was their big crossover Musou game. And Koei Tecmo was so good at making sure their handheld games got localized until the end of the Vita generation. And then they stopped for a while until the Switch came out. Like Knights of Azure 1. Never localized on Vita. Again, at least this little Raichu is fast. Sir Demon says, people hated Godseekers because it wasn't Dynasty Tactics 3. Hey, you'll probably be fine. I kind of liked it. I didn't love it, but I thought it was an interesting... game that was, you know, very different from the typical Musou games. I think they're really good at doing collaboration, crossover Musou games. Because like a lot of the other franchise Musou games are really good. Because I've heard Fire Emblem Warriors is really good. Zelda Musou is great. The Berserk and the Band of the Hawk, I really liked that on Vita. It looked awful, but I really liked it. And you know, it got me into watching Berserk, and that is a really good, nice franchise. Poor Raichu's a bit of a glass cannon right now. Surf Demon and Warriors All-Stars, the Fox Lady Sayo, was meant to be playable in DLC, but it was scrapped as the game didn't sell. Well, that's unfortunate. Yamio says, I want a Dynasty Warriors game where it's a one-character focused game. You might be able to get, you know, a story campaign that's focused around one character. But I feel like Dynasty Warriors is too huge of a franchise to not include tons of characters to be playable. It says, Surf Demon, you should play Dynasty Warriors Origins. Oh, because of that game's, yeah, it was very story focused. Oh, is this where we get the costume? Give me the costume. Give me the costume. Hi, I'm a beautiful spy on a cover mission. Oh, thank you. I'm here to beat Team Rocket. Yeah! Let's see, I think play with Eevee is where we can change clothes. No? Okay. Maybe it's part of bag. Clothing trunk. Choose an outfit for the character. Oh, I love these clothing sets you can get. Perfect. Hello. Yeah, Origins was not a Vita game. It came out, you know what, earlier this year, last year. I played a demo of it. I played the PC demo here. And that game is coming to Switch 2 next year. I believe they recently came out and said that the performance was a stable 30 FPS for Origins. It was also a very difficult game. At least compared to other Musou games, because a lot of Musou games aren't the epitome of difficulty. Origins did require a lot of strategy. What we got here? Do we need to heal anybody up? Sure, why not? I hear you can see ghosts with the Sylph Scope. Well, everybody in the world must have a Sylph Scope built into their eyeballs, except people of the Kanto region. Let's see, I'm just checking to see if we got any new emails at Reviews to Go. Not really. Okay. Oh, Hypno, that's fine. I have to swap to someone else. That's difficult. Because the only thing that we have that's super effective against Hypno is what? Nope. Okay, they have Bite. I guess that's fine. We'll swap Blastoise in. I was gonna say Butterfree is really good against Psychics, but he's also not great. Oh, great Hypnosis. Annoying attacks. Surf Demon in later games, it's just a chip they inject into people's brains. Yeah, probably. Just everybody at birth just has the ghost identifier chip injected into their brain. Let's see. I have one awakening. Okay, cool. Oh, headbutt that time. Okay. Cool. Bite him. Eat him. Oh, sweet. Flinched. I surrender. Good for you. 4 tiles! You know, I know a lot of people make fun of these puzzles, but I didn't think these puzzles were that bad back in the day. I thought they were fine. They weren't, like, that bad. You found an awakening. Good. I think there was a rare candy in here somewhere as well. I might be thinking about the original, though. Alright, let's take the longer path first. To get items. Wouldn't it be crazy if this little Sylph Scope really was just a chip they install in people's brains? You know, that you'd only get out of, like, an adult-rated Pokemon project, not for kids. I'm like, oh yeah. It's like, oh yeah, you remember ghosts? Oh yeah, people can see them because, you know, because of that chip they put in your brain when you're born. Be absurd. And we're off. Again. Next room. Hello. Venom, this puzzle back then was something because it was slower back then. Oh yeah, like with the movement on the tiles. Yeah, I can understand that. Well, you could break him. Oh, Thundershock. Cool, we're fine. They can't do crap to us. So, have you seen and looked at the game Serial Ultimate on Switch or Steam? I have not looked about playing it. I know I've seen that on the eShop. Intruder alert. Oh yeah, I have seen screenshots of that. Yeah, because the combat looks like an old first-person turn-based RPG sort of thing. But I've not looked into it that much, to be honest. Because I mean, lately it's just kind of like we've had, you know, games set. The first game that was just like popped up randomly for release that I was like, I gotta get that was probably Thief Simulator. Because the other stuff is stuff we've known about for a while. Like, you know, obviously Trails in the Sky has been announced for a year. The new Atelier game. The Yooka-Laylee remake. Even though the Yooka-Laylee remake is unfortunately still 30 FPS on Switch 2, apparently. Because I mean, you can get a smooth 30 FPS out of the Yooka-Laylee through backwards compatibility. So it seemed like an odd choice to do that, especially when the Yooka-Laylee devs spent so much time perfecting Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible layer on Switch, and then ported it to other platforms later. I'm surprised they didn't target, you know, Switch and Switch 2, or just Switch 2 with the remake. Then again, they've been working on the remake for a while. You have anything else for me? Okay, whatever. Venom says that Pokemon like similar but very different. I feel like a lot of monster catching games are just like, yeah, this is similar to Pokemon, but it's also quite different. Because even when you go into games like Digimon Story, like that is very, very different from Pokemon. Especially with how in-depth you have to get with raising Digimon in most Digimon games. Like even in, you know, the Cyber Sleuth series, where it's constantly like, oh yeah, no, you don't just raise a Digimon and they get better. You raise them, evolve them, de-evolve them, go back and forth, because the more you de-digivolve them and retrain them, the higher their potential stats get. I first discovered that, I want to say, in the DS Digimon games. It was Dusk and Dawn, I think, is what the subtitles for those games were. Oh, hey, Dark Pulse, that's cool. Can anybody learn Dark Pulse? Sure, Blastoise. Why not? And then you have Nexomon. Oh yeah, Yexomon or Nexomon is trying to be very similar, but I would say most of the monster catching games are very different. Even when they're, you know, they're doing the same sorts of things. Because I mean, I haven't played them in a long time, but the Monster Rancher games were also very different. Oh, hi. Didn't even see that guy there. Surfname, we never got the Digimon DS games in the UK. The last games we got was Digimon World 4. Okay. I didn't actually play very many of the older Digimon games. I played a little bit of Digimon World 2 at a friend's house, and that's it. I think I borrowed the game for a little bit. All I really remember of that game is I remember how you walked around the dungeons and you could get a Metal Greymon extremely early in the game before anything else is even at champion level. But with the DS games, I just remember, I know they were 2D games, not 3D. And I remember that was the first time I was introduced to the idea of de-digivolving things to permanently increase their base stats. Where it turned into, you know, you don't just level and evolve like you do in Pokemon. No, no, no. It's a much deeper process. And then, you know, Digimon Story took it even further with, like, going back and forth, opening up different branching paths for getting different evolutions, and basically turned the game into, like, okay, here's what I want. You know, you could say, like, I want my team to be, you know, let's say I want my team to be Lilymon, you know, Lilithmon, and Omnimon. And then you get to plan out all of this training and stuff you do to unlock each one. And I say those three because I believe I used those three in my last playthrough of Cyber Sleuth. Because Lilithmon was crazy overpowered with her special skills. Lilymon has always been one of my favorites. And then I think the complete edition of Cyber Sleuth came with like little NX versions of Omnimon and another one of the legendary knights. And Omnimon's always been this big, you know, the big thing ever since the original Digimon movie came out. And like they showcased him very, very heavily in the Digimon Adventure reboot. He showed up in the very first story arc somehow, some way. Now that is one thing that I would like them to add to Time Stranger if they haven't already revealed it. Because I know we're getting a lot of newer stuff in Time Stranger, but one thing I'm curious about is the scaling of stuff that would appear from the reboot. Because all of the megas in the reboot were absurdly gigantic. Because, you know, a lot of the megas and stuff in the original series was like, you know, some of them were big, some to the point where they could like wrap their arms around and carry the kids with them. And I think Ty rode on Wargreymmon's shoulder in the reboot. Like, they were huge. There was like a gigantic scale difference between Ultimates and Megas in the reboot. Surf Demon said, I hated the Adventure reboot. Yeah, it had a lot of problems. I enjoyed rewatching it, or I enjoyed watching it, but the pacing was awful. Because they just like went absurd. Because I know they wanted to put a lot of different forms in, and they did. but the pacing of everything was ridiculous in the Adventure reboot. Because, I mean, you know, they started with Omnimon. Uh-oh. Oh, we can peek in on them. Certain said it just turned into the tie-in occasional Friends show. That is true. It did have that effect. Earlier on, I think it was a pretty decent balance. Like at the point where when was it? I think it was like maybe like shortly after the Ultimates started showing up. When they had little bits where the group was like separating from each other, and you had you know, tie in a few people here, and you had you know, a few of the others somewhere else. I did like the new way they showed the Digivolutions though. Or, you know, if you watched the subtitle, like I originally did, just Evolution. Oh, hold on. I will be right back. Sorry about that. Just got a call. Looks like the birthday stuff, they're going to do it later on tonight, so that'll work out. Anyways, let's go ahead and keep running along here. But yeah, like, if I were to, but on Digimon, if I were to, you know, rewatch any of the series, it would just be the original again. Sometime I would want to, like, go through all of them. Because I did that with Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, I tried to do that with Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, you know, I grew up on the original series of Yu-Gi-Oh! Never really watched GX back in the day. So, you know, I went back and was like, you know, let's just watch through all of them. And, you know, I got through most of them. Obviously, like, with Yu-Gi-Oh! I always like watching the dub. Like, the English dub. So, you know, I really enjoyed my rewatch of the original series. I thought GX was pretty good as well. Thought 5Ds was pretty good. I really liked what they did with a lot of 5Ds. I couldn't do Zexal. If I ever watched Zexal, I would have to watch the sub. I'd have to watch the subtitle version. I have watched a few episodes of Zexal here and there when, because the official Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel is always live streaming random episodes from the different series. But I just could not take the voice actor they chose for the main protagonist of Zexal. I'm like, I cannot weather through 100 episodes of this voice. Because like the few episodes that I did watch on those live streams, I mean, it seemed pretty good. I just don't like the dub actor. I just don't like that voice at all. And Surf Demon says a lot of older Yu-Gi-Oh fans hated Zexal. Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know if it's for the same reason though. Because like when I've watched through some of the duels they did in the anime, and I'm like, you know, this looks pretty good. It's just the dub voice acting just bothered me so much. Just for the main character. I think his name was Yuya. I think was the main character of Zexal. Because I mean, even Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged made fun of Zexal. Immensely. But you know, I bet if I watched the sub, I'd probably be like, you know what, that's pretty good. Or if I just, you know, decided to stomach and weather the bad voice acting. Where I was like, you know what, let's just deal with it and watch this because it looks good. Alright, elevator's open. Surf Demon, I get what they were doing with Zexal. They were targeting kids who had never played, so they made the MC not know how to play. Oh, right, yeah, instead of, you know... Because, I mean, technically they did the same thing with the original series initially. Outside of, you know, the main character's alter ego being a master at games in general. Because I know in the first episode of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, had no idea what he was doing. And had to rely on flashbacks to realize that he was collecting cards to summon Exodia and automatically win the match. Surf Demon Vrains is darker as well. Which, I mean, that's cool. Benjamin said, I think Zexal got darker later on. Yes, I think it did, because some of the episodes that they threw into those live streams were, like, showed a lot of, like, extra dimensionals, like, empires and stuff trying to seep in and take over, and one of the characters was apparently, like, had an ancestor in some, you know, royal faction or something. Obviously, it was in the middle of a story arc that I had no context for. But, you know, I was still looking, I'm like, you know, this looks pretty cool. Hey, I'm here for Cubone. Alright, let's fight. I probably should go back and watch some of them. Because, you know, like, I stopped at Zexal and didn't even bother trying, you know, Arc 5 and Vrains. I know some of the story stuff because Legacy of the Duelist had their little, you know, little story scenes before each story duel in campaign mode. Let's see here, what do you want to use? Ooh, Dig would be fine against Arbok. Poison is weak to ground, something that I didn't realize for a very long time playing these games. Oh, and I remember this fight. In my original attempt at a Nuzlocke of this game, this is where my starter died. The starter Eevee. Just use Thundershock, who cares? Surf Demon says slightly, I think that is why the 2017 Power Rangers film didn't do too well. Cast was great, but the people behind it couldn't decide if they wanted to be serious or cheesy, so they did both. Yeah, that makes sense, because I do know that there was a plan. Well, I know that the end of that movie kind of teased out Tommy, and they were going to do more, but they just didn't. And now a lot of the nostalgia stuff just turned into original series stuff. Because I did rewatch that original series not that long ago. Because of the new season of Fortnite came out that had Power Rangers, and they like got actors to do like a mock Power Rangers fight as a trailer for that season. Even though rewatching Sentai and Power Rangers is very difficult to do if you're just trying to marathon it. because of how, you know, how villain of the week and formulaic all the episodes are. Because I watched through all of the original series, and that's cool. I watched through a little bit of Zeo, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm done. Not that, you know, the Zeo stuff wasn't good, but, you know, Power Rangers was a great show that you could to watch once a week and not all at once. Yeah, Sernian says if you watch it, there's a lot of good, but also what were they thinking? Yeah, because I know a lot of people didn't like how they handled Goldar in that movie. Instead of having his own character like in the original series. But you know, movie adaptation, you don't expect it to be 100% accurate anyways. Like if it's good, then cool. And it was the first time they tried to do something new with a Power Rangers movie. Because technically, because you know, there was a 1995 Power Rangers movie, which is basically just like a big arc of the show. Which is kind of weird to compare it to, you know, the new movie that was just, you know, adapting things. Instead of literally just being, this could have just been, you know, a new arc of the TV show. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Oh, hey, you survived it. Good job. Use Thunder Shock. But there's a lot of things people tried when trying to bring back old franchises. Surf Demon says, sorry watching Dino Thunder the other day. The monster of the week is there, but it's more story focused and it's more bingeable. That's good. Yeah, because like, I probably noticed it probably a good bit into season 2 of the original series. Where it was just like so formulaic where it's like, okay, this is good as background noise. Not good as I'm trying to sit and watch this. Let's see, what does he start with? I do not know. We'll just put, we'll put Butterfree up front. Why not? But it's always just, okay, you know, the 2 to 3 part arcs are really good to watch, even in the original series, but a lot of the other ones are just like, literally like, kids are doing this in school. Let's make a monster based on this. Fight the monster. Fail. Monster grows. Zords. Done. Repeat next episode. Because, you know, like at the start of the rewatch, I'm like, oh, this is so much fun to watch. Because, you know, I used to watch it a lot as a kid. There were a couple times in when I was in elementary school that I had costumes for the Red and White Ranger when I was a kid. And, you know, like I had the Saba sword to go with the White Ranger costume one year for Halloween. And I remember doing stuff like that. You know what? I think Bug Buzz is still fine. It's faster. That's not good. We'll be fine. Surf DM plus it's shorter at 38 episodes. That is probably a good thing. I was actually shocked that, you know, I think season 1 of the original series was like 60 some episodes. So I'm like, wait a minute, you mean we've got 60 some episodes of this 2 to 3 times, and that's just the first series, let alone the what, probably at least a dozen different Power Ranger series across the years. Let's see, Kangaskhan can probably handle you. 38 episodes would probably be better with that format as far as like trying to binge it. Because, I mean, that was my original idea. I'm like, hey, I'll just watch through all of them. Cool. Because I never really watched... I don't know. I think I've seen clips of some of the newer series, but I don't think I ever watched past season 2 of the original series. Like, I've seen clips of, you know, later villains, like, you know, everybody's seen clips of, like, Diva Talks and stuff from, like, Megaforce and after, but never really watched it on TV outside of the original 2 seasons. And then the 95 movie. Ooh, draw one, okay. That is a fun animation. Alright, dig. That did about the same. Viking is gone. We'll swap in Venusaur to use Mega Drain for the first time. Big frog guy. Mega Drain. Done. And if we were doing a Nuzlocke, then suddenly we'd have some dead guys. But we're not! I was defeated by a child. Is that the Silphscope? A pair of binoculars? It's like, hold on, there's a ghost there. Let me put on my binoculars so I can see the ghost. It would almost look like he just needs to put like a strap on the back of it so it would look like he's like walking around with a VR headset on. Oh, Archer's still here. What do you want? Why don't you get out of here and try to figure out that Silphscope or something? Okay, okay. I'll leave then. Bye. We've advanced quite a bit so far in this stream. Went across to Route 7, got Erica done, got the Team Rocket hideout done. Now we're about to go back to Lavender Town. Hold on. Aha, there he is. I was literally about to say we get the fly variant here, right? Even though this is probably my least favorite version of fly. I do not like the whole, you're just sitting in a cart with balloons. I think my favorite version of Fly was from Sun and Moon, where you summoned a Charizard that had, you know, the saddle on its back that you flew on. That was cool. That or the flying mechanic in the Gen 3 remix in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire with Latios and Latias. That was cool too. Here you go. Alright, what do we got here? Butterfree up front, I think is... No. Let's put Raichu up front. Because we'll probably still have a decent amount of trainers in Lavender Town, because I did already pretty much go through everywhere you could in Lavender Town. I already fought a bunch of the trainers all the way up to where the ghost kicks you out. Alright, let's just spam the confirm button while we go down here in case we run into an item. Or just see one there. Nothing on the red path? Okay. There was one in the blue path. Oh, hello. I hear there's been a sleeping Pokemon causing trouble outside Celadon City. Yeah, we're aware of that. Oh, hello. More story. I don't like ghosts, man. I'll take care of it for you. Yeah, I'll come with you. Sardine says, one nice thing about Dino Thunder is that there's an early episode that tells you how it connects to the past series as Tommy is in it. Okay, that's cool. That's good, because I know that, you know, a lot of the... You know, I know at least the first few series are directly connected because it's part of, like, kind of like a quote-unquote saga with Zordon as a character. Because I know Zeo goes, well... Because the original series, then you have Alien Rangers, which was very weird, but I didn't hate it. I thought it was interesting. And then goes straight into Zeo and then the ones after. Put on your binoculars, guys! Look at Haunter. I love how ridiculously huge Haunter is in this game. You guys don't even need to do anything. But we can start catching ghosts now. And I have just been using the co-op feature for catching in this game with how great it is. Normally not with Ultra Balls. Normally I'll have player 2 have a Pokeball. Or in this case, we'll have him with a... Great Ball and a Great Ball. Missed. This is why I like handheld mode so much for this game, because in handheld mode, you can literally just use the gyro to aim at the Pokemon instead of trying to, you know, aim correctly. Servdine says Turbo. Oh, so Turbo is probably the... Yeah. Yeah, because I mean the early ones that I've seen connect fairly well. Because, you know, Season 2 goes into Aliens, and then Aliens goes right into Zeo. Take care of that other character around here. We got a Ghastly. We're going to want a Haunter as well. Servdemon says Turbo is after Zeo. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm like maybe 6 episodes into Zeo. Cause like I do watch the episodes from time to time, but it's just like not as big of a okay, cool, let's watch the next episode stuff and see what happens next. It's still more along the lines of like a let's play this in the background. So I'll mildly pay attention to it. Let's go ahead and heal here. And again. We are going to want a Haunter before we leave here. Have we not fought you yet? Oh, we haven't. Cool. Because I fought these guys as soon as I got out of Rock Tunnel. Butterfree with Psybeam just kind of annihilated everything. Unfortunate. Yeah, because eventually I might continue and get to the other Power Rangers series, but it's just like, it's also a gigantic, you know, time sink too. Which is why most things that I watch are kind of in the background. I'll pay attention to some things, but, you know. Watching through all of Power Rangers would be like hundreds upon hundreds of episodes. So I'm sure that Hulu completely will thank Fortnite for having Power Rangers in their current season, because I'm sure a lot of people wanted to go back and rewatch stuff once they did a collab in that game. Actually, they probably gone back to with the recent Power Rangers games too, because there was Battle for the Grid, which was a pretty good fighting game. Then we had Rita's Rewind, which, I mean, I heard had a lot of problems, but it looked really good. It had such a great trailer too. Every time I watch Rita's Rewind on the, like, when I watch the trailer with the old theme music behind it, I'm like, could we, you know, my brain just thinks maybe we should, you know, maybe we should go and get that game. All right, binocular time. And there goes Marowak. I mean, this remake did do a nice job with that little story arc. That cinematic was fun. Bye, buddy. Let's see if there are spawns up here. We'll wait for a Haunter to show up before we move on. Got 2 rare candies. We can use that to oh, we have 3. Cool. Catch Raichu up with everybody else. Almost caught up. Oh, you seem to think there's an item somewhere nearby. Like right there. Oh, points up? Cool. We'll actually use that now. Maybe? Oh, we have 3 of them. Cool. There we go. Now we got 14 of those. Do we need anything else? I did not mean to do that, but whatever. I accidentally used PP up on stupid Thundershock. Oh well. Okay, so we know there are encounters here. They're just not spawning very quickly. Alright, well, we'll just save that there. And we'll just... I guess we'll just wait a couple minutes. Because I always go through these games. Oh, wait, there's a Cubone there. No, I have a Cubone already, right? Pretty pretty sure I do. Yeah, we already have a Cubone, don't need to worry about it. Alright, served even 973 episodes in total. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. That's only, what, a couple hundred less than One Piece? Because honestly, like, I didn't think it was going to be that big of a time sink to just rewatch all of them. I figured it was like maybe 20 episodes a season. But then I saw the then I saw original series had like 60 episodes in its first season. It's kind of like, that's kind of like original series of Digimon. I think its first season was like 90 episodes. ME, happy birthday. Thank you. My birthday isn't until Thursday. But thank you. That's what this stream is for, since I'm not going to be available to stream on Thursday. Oh, Golbat. Do we have Golbat? I'm pretty sure we do. Yep. Cool. But that's crazy. And speaking of that, I also noticed that as I went into like a seasons, I think 2 or 3 of the original series of Power Rangers, they used a bunch of, well, first of all, a bunch of the Digimon Adventure voice actors were also in that series. I noticed at least a few. Because I know Master Vile featured the same voice actor that did Sintarumon in Digimon. And they even used a bunch of the Digimon music in Power Rangers. Like, I think it was in the Alien Rangers season, or mini-season, or whatever you want to call it. But I noticed that some of the, like, intense, like, something's afoot music, there he is. It would just straight up be music from Digimon. Because I remember listening to it, and being right in the middle of it, I thought, hold on, wait a minute. Rewinding the thing and thinking, this is straight up just Digimon music. It says Digimon Adventure has 54 episodes. Maybe I'm thinking of like, I know I'm thinking of something with like 90 episodes. Maybe I'm thinking of Digimon Adventure and Adventure 2 combined. Yeah, because I have it on Hulu, because they've got all those Digimon series on Hulu. Oh yeah, because episode 39 is Battle for Earth, which was like the 2/3 of the way through point. But I always thought it was but I thought it was interesting when I discovered that, like, when I said, like, this is literally just Digimon music. Yeah, there was like 50 episodes in Digimon Adventure 2. Maybe I'm thinking of just both of them together. So that's about a little over 100 episodes. Alright, anyways, let's activate the co-op so we can get this easily. We'll go ahead and use Ultra Balls just because we know it's not going to be super easy. Even though now it will, because now we're in the yellow. I'm just waiting for him to go back to the middle. Good. I was going to say good enough. There we go. Excellent throw. So much easier than Pokemon Go. I really wish Pokemon Go on mobile had implemented that gyro function that this game has in handheld mode. There we go. Let's see. 51 episodes for Digimon Tamers, according to Surf Demon. Yeah, that's not bad at all. And there's and just immediately there's another one. Ugh. I love Haunter, but I'm never able to use him. What do you have? You have Toxic already? Toxic, Shadow Ball, Sucker Punch. This is a pretty good moveset, to be honest. Get Shadow Punch later. It's like, what do you have? What does the Ghastly have that we have? No, not move. I just need to check summary. Dark Pulse, Shadow Ball, Toxic, Sucker Punch. That's pretty good. But we can basically give that Haunter the same moveset. But I also love Haunter because he's one of the Pokemon you can ride on in this game. Is my other character here? No. Good. The co-op featured went away. Because, I mean, honestly, like, who would I even replace with Haunter? Kangaskhan doesn't serve too much purpose right now, to be honest. He's like, what? Fighting? Raichu has that. Ground? Charizard has that. Dark? Blastoise has that. I always go through this game and really want to use Haunter. And then I go for a while and I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Excuse me? Oh, right. Didn't they change this? Yeah, they changed this. Okay, I was going to say, in the original, there was like 4 Team Rocket Grunts that you had to fight. And just, Fuji just ignores them the whole time. Oh, this looks familiar. What do you have? You still don't have anything that good. You dig again. Poor Charizard's running around without Flamethrower. So the unfortunate thing about not having the casino, because that's where, I'm pretty sure that's where you could get Flamethrower in the original to start off. Flamethrower and Ice Beam. And it's over already. Super easy. But you know, it's nice for a game to not be super difficult, so we can just like play it in the background and talk about stuff. Looks like Operation Stealthily Kidnapping failed. Okay, bye. Hi. How are you doing? Oh, who are you? I wasn't even aware that I was in danger. It's probably not a good thing, old man. You gotta pay attention to your surroundings. Now we have the Pokeflute. We can go take down Snorlax, and we can go on to Cycling Road to see if the frame drops are still there on Switch 2. Calm down, Eevee. We just need Skydash so we can go to the next town over. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Where Charizard just floated into the air. Hey, Tubby, we need you to move. Oh, how much money? We have plenty of money, right? We should probably restock. Not you, I think you. How many great ball? Oh, we can buy 400 great ball. Let's buy 100 of each. There we go. That can be our new little catch thing. Because before, like, I would always use the co-op for catching because it gives you more experience and makes it easier. Where I would have the main character holding a great ball and the other character holding a Pokeball. But now we can do Ultra and Great. And it'll be fine. Alright, Snorlax, I need you to move. Get out of the way, you idiot. What I like, you can see the flute. It's not a flute, it's more like a recorder. As far as that model and how he used it. What? What do you want? Oh, right. I forgot this is one of the legendary encounter things where you have to actually go through the whole fight before you can catch it. And we're timed for some reason. That did almost nothing. Or we could hacks it somewhere and say, oh, hey, look at that. How about we just double team him? Why not? Take this already, you know, decently easy Pokemon game, just make it even easier. I still think it's crazy that you can use the co-op feature to turn basically every battle in the game to a 2-on-1 thing, where you're just like unfairly annihilating everyone. All right, let's go ahead and go to the bag. Use a raspberry. Yeah, 2 Ultra Balls is fine. Or not. Perfect. Super easy. Whereas in the original, it was very difficult. 1,500 experience, that's pretty good. But no new moves on anybody. Well, we got Snorlax for the Pokedex. That's good. Yeah, get out of here, Mr. Fuji. And other player, get out of here. Need to go get this Doduo. We'll have the other trainer get a Great Ball out, so we're not massively going through our inventory. It also makes level grinding very easy in this game when you get the big mons that give you a lot of experience, like the mid-tier evolution stuff, because it gives you more experience and it's easier. Get out of here, co-op person. We will go over here and get this item. Make sure to use that PP up for something that's not Thunder Shock. Excuse me. Oh, right, it's connected to the whole route. It has this... Alright, so let's go ahead and check for the frame drop areas. Like, where was it? It was the patch of grass I always watched. Because there was one patch of grass I always watched on this route. Specifically to get... It's right here. And there's an Eevee already. Alright, let's go ahead and catch the Eevee. I mean, land on the Eevee's head. But, I discovered the frame drop area here when I was on a previous file, and I was waiting to get a shiny Eevee so I could get the purple Vaporeon. And all of a sudden, when I was just sitting with Charizard, it just suddenly had weird frame drops. Dizzy Punch power 70. Okay. And 80. You know what? It has more accuracy, so I would say that's worth it. And we got an Eevee. But anyways, let's get back on Charizard. Because I know the exact thing we would do here. We would just get up here. It would be right about here. Yeah, I would be right here. Because right here, you could see the whole patch of grass. And, like, I would just be waiting. You know, I would just be sitting here waiting for a shiny Eevee to spawn. And randomly, the animations would start tanking into, like, the 20s or below. Where the animation for Charizard's wings would just suddenly get really choppy. Now, I don't know how exactly to replicate it. But we'll just sit it here for a few minutes and see if anything weird happens. Because obviously, like, initially I was thinking, should I maybe make a Switch versus Switch 2 video on this? Even though it is just like a small section of the game. So, you know, it's like super petty. Like, I've been trying to make Switch versus Switch 2 videos off of... Sorry, I was just looking at that Eevee, making sure it wasn't a shiny. But off of games that, you know, have more substantial issues. Because there are tons and tons of Switch games out there that are like, oh yeah, it's a solid 30 FPS outside of, you know, a couple tiny areas here and there where it'll get like little tiny dips. And, you know, I look at that and think, that's not worth a Switch versus Switch 2 video on unless the load times are like absurdly improved. Because to be honest, I wasn't originally going to make a Switch versus Switch 2 video for Resident Evil 0 and Remake. I hadn't even remembered the frame drops in the cemetery. And I wasn't really even thinking that much about... I wasn't really thinking about the load times in 0. But yeah, because like when I was making my big list of games the other day, there were tons of games that were like little tiny hiccupy areas, and be like, whatever. Because I mean, even this is, you know, the frame drops in this game were not even worth talking about. It's like, okay, when you were walking through Viridian Forest, sometimes you would get occasional tiny little frame drops, or when you sit on Charizard's back here for an obscene amount of time, it would randomly drop a little bit. You know, it's stuff that doesn't matter at all. It's like, it's literally fine. It's not like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet where most of the game had frame drops. Or like Arc of Alchemist. Like Arc of Alchemist, that would be worth making a video about. Because that entire game was terrible. Or like the SpongeBob games on Switch. Like Battle for Bikini Bottom and the Patrick Star game. They were terrible. They were bad in general on Switch. You know, everywhere there were frame drops. Yeah, and Surf Demon says, I personally wouldn't, but it's Pokemon, so it would blow up. Maybe. But, you know, like, my thought process is, like, okay, what games had issues? And you start off as a curiosity of, okay, well, I wonder if this tiny issue in Pokemon Let's Go was fixed. Surf Demon said, has anything caught my eye in the Steam sale? Oh, you mean the Steam Autumn sale? I haven't looked at it very much. I was going to wait until I got, oh. Well, never mind. I was going to say I was going to wait until I get paid next week, but that's when the Steam Autumn sale ends. Let me look at... I've got a pretty big wish list. Let's see if there's anything on my wish list that's on sale right now, like all of it. like most of it. Any of the big things on my wish list on sale right now? No. I'm waiting for Stalker 2 to go down to a cheap price. Stalker 2 is like $42 right now. I'm like, okay, that is pretty good, but I hadn't looked at the sale because I was like, let me just wait until I get paid again on Monday. On the day that the sale ends, I will get paid 3 hours after the sale ends. But let me just browse through. Doom Dark Ages 46, that's cool. That does not work at all on handheld PCs, like, at all. Because, I mean, there's some stuff on my wish list that I've been waiting to go on sale, like Beam NG Drive is on sale, but not very big sale. Let's see, Stellar Blade isn't on a very big sale either. Because there's lots of cool things on sale, not like ultra cheap though. Well, stuff that I don't already have, or stuff that it's not stuff that I am specifically looking for. See, Dead Space is $12. That's pretty good. I've heard that the remake is really good. Was not really good on handheld PCs at launch though. Looking through things, like, I see a lot of cool games. Nothing's like super popping out at me right now. At least for the prices that they're at in the sales. And I haven't really seen... Okay, alright. Code Vein for $6. I might add that to my wish list and get that on... Because I remember playing the demo of Code Vein, and I remember playing it a little bit on Game Pass, and I did enjoy that. So that would probably be a yes. And Surf Demon Code Vein is great. Yeah, I played through probably the first hour of Code Vein when it was on Game Pass, and I did really like it. And, you know, $6. Is there anything else crazy here? Because like, there's a bunch of stuff games that are a nice price, like Skyrim Special Edition for $10. That's cool, but you know, I have Anniversary on my Switch and Switch 2. Not 60 FPS, but it's still really good. Let's see. The new Demon Slayer game is already on sale. I'm not really seeing any frame drops here. I'm not going to say that it's fixed. If I wanted to do that, I'd probably literally test it for hours. But let's drop down for a second. And land on this Rapidash. Oh, good. He's going to hop back and forth. Great. Let's go ahead and use a Raspberry to make him a little easier to catch. Because we have seen a couple things here that we don't have yet. Rapidash and Dodrio. Ratchet and Clank is 30. That's cool. Because there are certain games that are on sale right now that I'm just waiting to go on a cheaper sale. Like Stalker 2, I'm waiting to get to go cheaper than $42. Like, I want to get Stray for Switch, but I want to wait until it's on a cheaper sale. Like, it's like normally like $29 and now it's like $23. Look what else is here. Nier Automata is 14. That's pretty good. Rito Remastered is on sale for 38. That's not bad. I did really like Rito Remastered. I love how they rebranded the Final Fantasy 3 and 4 remakes on Steam because Pixel Remaster is out now. So now the remakes are all listed with a little, you know, tagline saying 3D remakes so you don't mix them up. Let's go back in the air. We'll wait for a Dodrio to spawn. We'll grab that, and then we'll go through... Wrong one. Okay, I see Poppy Playtime is free on Steam. Well, the first one is. Not 2, 3, and 4. That's also something I need to get and play through on Switch, because I played the first one. Actually, I went through the whole game on stream. But never got 2, 3, and 4. I've sent tons of emails to that developer, but nothing back. Which, I mean, you know, is fine, but ideally, you know, because most of the time when I don't cover a bunch of big new releases that are in the, like, the niche and stuff that I normally cover, just because of finances. Just like, oh, I had enough money to buy Trails in the Sky right now, but I have to wait to buy, you know, the new Atelier game or the new Pac-Man World game. Sir Demon says, I hate that Code Vein 2 is apparently single player only. Steam says it's single player, while Bandai Namco have said absolutely nothing. Oh, my other player's down there. Get out of here. There he is. Well, let's just drop down on Dodrio and then... Excuse me, sir. I require your assistance. Don't you jump around. Don't you jump around. Don't you do it. Alright, just jump back to the middle. Just jump back to the middle. Even though I have never cared about using Dodrio. And that's why I don't like throwing stuff at them when they're on the sides, because they jump out of the way. That's the only thing I don't like about Pokemon Go too. Well, actually, no. The thing I don't like about Pokemon Go is that they programmed raids to require an obscene amount of people to make them viable. It's like, hey, I want to do raid by myself. Okay. I want to do a legendary raid by myself. No. We're going to add time limits so you can't. Because I have a very, very efficient way of playing Pokemon Go. Like, resource-wise. Because I've done tons of upgrades to my item inventory. Never spent a single cent on the game. Just put Pokemon in gyms, get coins, and then upgrade inventory. I currently have, I think, 4,900 inventory space. I have, like, 60 hyper potions, 70 max potions, 100 revives. But can't do the legendary rates without another player. Or without, like, 10 other players to make it viable. Alright, now let's go ahead and get Charizard out here. We're going to go back to the beginning of the route and just go through it normally. Excuse me. Surf Demon says, just looked on Proton DB. Apparently, Atali Reslariana, is fine, but the open world is laggy. It only has single Steam Deck reports, sadly. All right, then we're... I don't... No, we played Yumiya on... We played the Yumiya demo on Steam Deck, right? At least I did. So we're probably... For the Switch version, we're probably looking at the same as Atelier Yumiya, where it'll probably be a little choppy on Switch 1 and a stable 30 on Switch 2. Let's just walk on the ground for a while. We'll have Raichu follow us around. So we'll have Kangaskhan out for Raichu, I guess, to start things off. We should probably go back and heal, though. We probably should. I'll look at him surfing behind us. That's awesome. Let me just activate my other player, because I'm pretty sure this game does not have a demo. New releases. Atelier. Nope, no demo. Switch 2 compatibility is just behavior is consistent with Switch 1. Lots of DLC like they normally do. Alright. That's what I figured. Serverdine says, someone in the Steam discussion is saying that the Switch version freezes. That's not great. It is a little bit strange that they did not release a Switch 2 version of this game. Because they are coming out with Switch 2 versions of the Ryza trilogy. So it's not like Gust doesn't have access to the Switch 2 stuff, like the dev kits. Unless maybe this game was just like so far in production that they decided we're not gonna bother with Switch 2 for this one. We'll just do it for our next project. Because, I mean, I know a lot of people think this game's weird because, like, it's... You know, we're not, like... exactly continuing where Yumiya left off, and it's a weird kind of like little crossover game. Let's see, there is a YouTuber that put up a Switch 1 frame rate analysis for this game. Looks like, at least what they're showing is mostly a somewhat stable 30 FPS, but a lot of battle animations are dragging it down. And it looks like the battle animations... I mean, they barely show anything with the frame rate counter on Switch 2. But it looks like a lot of the animations that drop it to like 18 FPS on Switch 1 still drop it into the 20s on Switch 2. But I don't think what they're showing is open world stuff at all. A little bit is. Like, we're walking through a town, but... like, most of their stress test stuff is, like, inside a dungeon. It looks like... yeah, pretty much looks similar to what we saw in Yumiya. It doesn't look like this video talks about freezing, though. Probably all early game areas, too. Alright, well, let's continue onward. Servdane says that I think Koei Tecmo should do an offline port of that Gacha Atelier game, as the global version of that game is closed. That would be cool, to let that game not just, you know, die and disappear. Because there are some games that just are just gone forever. As soon as their servers shut down, you just can never play them ever again. Offline versions would help with that. With preserving the game so it can still be played. And you know, you can just add more Atelier games to be able to be played on the Steam Deck and Switch. Because, you know, there definitely are not enough Atelier games already. You know, give Gust a few more years and the Switch is going to be able to play like 5 trilogies of Atelier games. Yeah, certainly even like what Capcom did with Mega Man X Dive. Oh yeah, with Mega Man X Dive Offline. Yep, that would be a good idea. Square Enix should do it with the Final Fantasy Dissidia mobile game. That's true. I never was able to play that much of it. I haven't tried it on my new phone, but my old phone just didn't handle it very well. So I was just like, alright, oh well. Alright, yeah, Vaporeon's really tanky. Every time I see Vaporeon tank a hit like that, I'm like, that's pretty good, that's pretty... Oh wait, it's Vaporeon. Serve I'm really hoping we get a new Blue Reflection game. Maybe someday. Don't know what else Gust has made lately outside of just Atelier. Because, I mean, they've been consistent. We've pretty much gotten an Atelier game every year. Served Demon, sadly, the mobile Dissidia game closed the other year. Well, good. Well, then I won't try to play it on my new phone at all, then. Let's see, like, what all does Square Enix have going on mobile-wise right now? Just, I know they have that new Kingdom Hearts mobile game. Dark Fate or whatever it's called. Gust did recently say they would like to do a new Blue Reflection. Well, that's cool. Maybe they could make a Switch 2 version of of the second game that looks and plays a little better than it currently plays. Because you know, Blue Reflection does play better on a Switch 2, but it is not a pretty game to look at all. When you look at how that game looks, it's like clearly Gus was struggling to make Switch games. Because we know that they're working on the DX versions of the Ryza trilogy. They just released this new game. I mean, they'll always continue to make Atelier games, but a little more variety would be nice. It's nice to have, you know, these developers like making something new. It's like, oh, that's cool. That's something new. Let me check this out and see how it is. Alright, mostly good. Would you have a battle with my babies? What? Why would you say that? Surf Demon says, sadly, most of the PC versions of Gus games don't run that great either. That is unfortunate. Because I mean, that's probably where a lot of handheld fans would want to go if they don't get the games on the Switch, or you know, they don't want to, or if they didn't have a Switch 2, or for pre-games, like if you wanted to play Knights of Azure 1 or Blue Reflection 1, because I'm pretty sure the first Blue Reflection did not come to the West, at least not on handhelds. Surf Demon, with the Ryza DX version, that means we got 5 Atelier games this year. Yep, we sure did. 2 new games and 3 remasters. Well, 3 remasters of games that are not very old. Then again, the same thing happened with the Mystery Trilogy, because I remember early in the Switch lifecycle, Switch got Atelier, Lydian Suelle, which was not a good port at all. And then what? A couple years later, we got the whole Mystery Trilogy as DX versions, including Lydian Suelle again. Ooh, Magneton. Charizard, you got that one. Let's see, Blue Reflection 1 is on Steam and PS4 in English. Okay, so it did release on PS4, so it was probably just handhelds that it didn't. That makes sense. I think that was around the time that Koei Tecmo was not localizing things on Vita towards the end of its life cycle. Served in Ryza 1 is 6 years ago. Okay, so... It's like... What, Last of Us Remastered or Battle Max Xeno being remade less than a decade after it was originally released. Yes? What do you want? Oh, you found a berry. Cool. Good job. For the Eevee, not a shiny, I don't care. Ah! Ran right into a Doduo. Go away. Sardine Blue Reflection was 2017. Yeah, that would make sense. So Switch came out in 2017. Vita was kind of already on its way out around that time. Because I remember when the Switch first came out, we were still kind of going back and forth between Vita and Switch reviews, depending. Had a lot of Switch reviews coming out, but still had Vita stuff coming out from time to time. I know Fate Extella Link came out, and that came out for both Vita and Switch. Because they sent me, a review code of the Vita version. So I reviewed it on a Vita and PS TV, but then did like a comparison video for the Switch version, because I bought the Switch version. So that time frame does kind of match up. Let's use Air Slash to start. Bye. Oh, let's see here. To give you exact numbers, let's see. Yep, 2017 would be that year because Warriors All-Stars was the first one that I remember when Koei Tecmo started not including the Vita in their Western releases. And that was a 2017 game. Came out in March of 2017 Japan, and August 2017 North America, and September for Europe. Certainly, I hate that Ryza is 6 years old already. It was late 2019. It was a while ago. Doesn't feel like it though, but we've gotten... Actually, we really only got one brand new Atelier trilogy in the Switch generation. Because Liddy and Suelle finished the Mystery Trilogy a little bit after the Switch came out. We got the Ryza Trilogy, and then the other stuff we got were just the DX re-releases of Arland and Dusk, Nelky, the spin-off, the Atelier Marie remake, and then Yumiya, right at the end, right, yeah. It seems weird because, you know, we got so many games on the Switch, like even on the Vita, because I think, well, no, technically I think Arland and Dusk had already been made when the Vita games started coming out. Because I remember the first Atelier game I played was Totori, and I didn't like it. I hated Totori's time limitations. It was kind of like, I sort of like this, I guess. Even though the main character isn't very good without items and stuff, whatever. And then I got to the time limit, and I'm like, what do you mean the game just ended because I took too long? I think that's why I like Sophie so much. Sophie was one of the first ones that removed the time limit, and you could take as long as you wanted to do everything. Observing says Arland was on PS3. Yes, I do remember that. But wasn't Dusk also PS3? I want to say that I remember Atelier Aisha being a PS3 game. Yes, it was. It came out a year before its Vita Plus version came out. All right, so yeah, so technically, the PS Vita generation got 2 trilogies. I'll say, Sir Demon says, Verona was my first Atelier, not counting Monachemia. Oh, yeah. I might have played Monachemia before Atelier. I do remember playing that. Let's go ahead and save and see what this ace trainer wants, or this coach, or whatever you want to call him. I never beat Monachemia, though. But I remember playing Totri and did not like it at all, and I'm like, I hate it. Didn't like Totri as a character. Didn't like how pitiful she was in combat without items. But then, you know, other games came out, because we didn't get Rorona Plus for a long time. I think I played Meru. I'm like, this is alright. This is okay. Then Sophie was like, okay, I really like this. Surf Demon says, oh, the Monachemia games they need a port. Currently stuck on the PS2 and PSP. Yep. I think I played Monachemia on my Vita because of the backwards compatibility. Well, that wasn't great. Again, these guys are supposed to be a little bit tougher. You haven't heard anything about Monachemia in such a long time. Would be nice if they did like maybe a new game and included the other ones there. Kind of like what they did with the Atelier Marie remake, where you got the remake, but you could buy that DLC to play the original game in English. I wonder if Drill Run is what we're going to get from this guy. But it is kind of crazy that for Atelier fans, you know, as far as like handheld consoles go, you can look at a Switch and like, yeah, you can play. How many Atelier games can you play on this? Yes. Yes is the answer. as far as like the main series go, just the Marie remake, Arlen trilogy, Dusk trilogy, Mystery trilogy, Ryza trilogy, the new game, Nelky. Just yes. And you can go into Warriors Abyss and play as Sophie, Yumiya, and Ryza. Yeah, Serph Demon, like all of them. Basically just all of them except the real old ones. I do wonder if they'll ever bring the real old ones back, like the old like PS2 era Atelier games. No one can use Draw Run, so it doesn't matter, whatever. But you know, maybe eventually they'll do something like they did with the Atelier Marie remake and remake something else. I think they did Marie just because it was the very first game. Serph Demon or the Atelier DS game. Yep. Yeah, Nintendo got a couple Atelier games back in the day. And then the 3DS got a version of Rorona as well. I saw screenshots of that version of Rorona, and I thought that it looked so cute. Alright, Beauty Samantha, with your Weeping Bell. Oh, hi. You have an Executor. It is really... This route is really nice in this remake, because, like, okay, so the bicycle thing was removed, but it is nice to walk up to all these trainers and be able to see what they have. Oh, and we've been doing good on the stream, too. Haven't had a single dropped frame. Serph Demon, I would love a port of the original Ni no Kuni instead of it being stuck on the DS in Japan. Oh yeah, the original version before it was remade with the 3D stuff. If they ever remastered it, that would be a good thing to throw in, like as a bonus. Flinch, yeah! Serph Demon, the original is very different. Yeah, I believe I looked up some of the stuff during the when I streamed the first game, and we were talking about it. That's kind of like also the Atelier, or not the Atelier games, the Tales of games that came to the Vita. Tales of Innocence R and Tales of Hearts R, those were originally DS games as well. Japan only, and they took 2D games and turned them into 3D games on the Vita. Oh, look at you in your Ninetales with freaking Flamethrower. Meanwhile, Charizard still doesn't have Flamethrower at level 42! Let's see, Serph Demon, it's... it's talking about the original Ni no Kuni being turn-based, and you have to use the physical book to look up. So, oh right, yes. That was really neat. Being able to having to use an actual physical reference. It's very quirky, but that's neat. All right, Starmie, we'll pull out Raichu. Thunderbolt him. All right, and we're done with the cycling road. Alrighty. Well, I think that's probably about all we're going to do today. We've been going for about 3.5 hours. My parents did decide to do all of our birthday stuff later on tonight, since, you know, tomorrow's my mom's birthday, Thursday's my birthday. And I also need to go to the BMV so I can get I can renew my driver's license today. But you know, like I said earlier, we just wanted like a casual little stream saying, hey, it's my birthday week, let's just play something for fun. And you know, I've been wanting to continue that save file in Pokemon Let's Go for a while now. And you know, this was fun. We talked about all kinds of stuff that's been going on right now. But I'll head out of here. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, the only video that's made right now, since Trails in the Sky is taking so long, is my Skyrim Anniversary re-review on Friday. So if you're doing a great stream, well, glad you enjoyed it as well. So, you know, Skyrim re-review on Friday, I mean, there's not going to be much new in the video. It's basically just saying, hey, here's Skyrim Anniversary Edition. We initially reviewed it when it had performance issues. Here's how the performance is now. Switch 2 have the load times, and that's pretty much it. But, you know, it's what it is. You know, I'm trying to work with this YouTube coach to try to, like, help improve things and make things better, make things less stagnant on the channel because, you know, we're doing well, but, you know, just like, the growth is just slowly declining. But anyways, that's what's coming up on Friday, and eventually I'll have a review of Trails in the Sky first chapter. And then next week we might dive into Atelier once I get paid and everything. We'll see how things go. But thanks to everybody who joined the stream, and this stream is going to remain public going forward since it was a special little birthday celebration thing. But I'm going to head out of here, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.